Welcome, everyone, to the penultimate episode of 31 Nights, 31 Frights. Tonight, we'll be taking a look at the first of two very classic John Carpenter films that... Really? Again with the fog? Wait, is this the same fog we used for Silent Hill? Seriously, are we that low budget that we have to stoop to using the exact same digital effects? Then again, I guess there's no shame in reusing something if it works, right? And as you'll see on the lowdown for the fog, Mr. Carpenter seems to have felt that exact same way. The Fog was released on February 8th, 1980, rated R, and clocks in at 1 hour and 29 minutes. The film was directed by John Carpenter and written by Mr. Carpenter and Deborah Hill, his collaborator from Halloween. The film stars Adrienne Barbeau as Stevie Wayne, Jamie Lee Curtis as Elizabeth Soley, Janet Leigh as Kathy Williams, Tom Atkins as Nick Castle. Where have we heard that name before? It also stars Nancy Loomis as Sandy Fidel and Hal Holbrook as Father Malone. So some interesting casting notes here. Adrienne Barbeau, who plays the DJ in Tales of Halloween, which we looked at a few nights ago, was actually John Carpenter's wife at the time this movie was made. Tom Atkins was a friend of hers. Tom Atkins' character is Nick Castle, who was actually the name of the actor who played the Shape in Halloween. Jamie Lee Curtis portrays Laurie Strode in Halloween, and her mother, Janet Leigh, shares a bit of screen time with her in this film. Another Halloween alum, Nancy Loomis, who plays Annie Brackett, the sheriff's daughter, works alongside Janet Leigh as her assistant Sandy. So lots of similar tropes with using the same cast and the same names and some of the same themes there. John Carpenter was doing it long before Tim Burton.
Are you weird?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am weird.
You are weird.
Yes.
You're weird, thank God.
So what's the story? The coastal town of Antonio Bay is nearing its centennial, and of course the town is abuzz with celebration, because apparently that's a big deal. Most of the town are blissfully ignorant of their true heritage, and the fact that the original town was built with the money stolen from a murdered ship full of lepers. That's one of the weirdest things I've said this whole show. But at midnight, when supernatural events begin to plague the town, Father Malone discovers a journal from his grandfather, one of the original founders, which details their horrible sins. The rest of the film finds the disparate characters of the town piecing together clues and avoiding the massive, strange fog bank that is choking the entire town, trying to understand what the entities that bring the fog actually want.
Something that one lives with like an albatross around the neck. No, more like a millstone. A plumbing stone, by God.
Now, this film is what you call an ensemble piece, meaning that there isn't really a singular point of view character. Rather, there are several different characters that you follow. Some argue that Adrienne Barbeau's Stevie is the protagonist, but typically your protagonist undergoes some kind of change or transformation, or somehow they are the ones who bring about, the resolution of the film at the climax. None of that stuff happens here with her. She's actually pretty helpless most of the time. It doesn't happen with anyone else either, though. See, this film is definitely much more plot-driven than it is character-driven. So that lack of a central voice really makes it difficult to find someone with which to empathize. What I do love about this film is the creepy atmosphere that Carpenter creates. It is fantastic. Antonio Bay is filmed as if it's the only town on the planet, cut off from civilization even on a clear sunny day. When the fog creeps into the streets, it gets even more isolated. Now, I don't know how the effects were done here, but Carpenter's control of the fog is just as impressive as his control of the camera. He once again does a lot with a little, and the atmosphere and mise-en-scène pulls us into the world of Antonio Bay, which is a good thing because the characters definitely don't. The Fog was Carpenter's first theatrical release since Halloween, but it contains no sympathetic, interesting characters like Halloween did, even with some of the same actors being involved. The closest we get is Barbeau's Stevie as a single mother who is forced to remain in the lighthouse and help guide the town through the horrifying fog bank. Now, this forces her to remain apart from her young son and rely on the kindness of strangers, conveniently Nick Castle and his one-night stand Elizabeth, to save her son when the fog reaches him. Unfortunately, Stevie never really takes hold as the kind of strong central character we need, and her single mother arc is almost incidental to the story, rather than the driving force of her character and thus the film. Her sacrifice to stay at the lighthouse instead of saving her son should have felt like a big moment for the character, but it really was just another dot to connect on the way to the end of the film. For my money, the most interesting character in the film is Antonio Bay itself. The town feels like a character with plenty of unique and fascinating landmarks and locations and personality.
To the ships at sea who can hear my voice, look across the water into the darkness. Look for the fog.
So it's time for the verdict. While this is not Carpenter's best work, The Fog is definitely an enjoyable, creepy little flick. It's well made, it's a small-scale ghost story that might not stand out as a masterpiece, but will certainly entertain you for a few hours. The subtle connections to and Easter eggs from Carpenter's other work is plentiful, and it's a lot of fun to watch for. I give this movie 2.5 Grimms. That's it for this edition of 31 Nights, 31 Frights. Thanks for listening and watching. I hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button and checking out all of the other shows we have to offer here at Grimm's Scary Tales.